What is up, guys? Welcome back to Retro Motorsports USA. My name is Matt, and today we're going to be going over these two cars. I'm going to catch you up to speed on what's going on with these cars, what happened with these cars, and some of you may know. However, I'm going to act like you don't know. So I'm going to give you the entire story of Fernando, 318 Jodi's, 318s, both of them, actually. This is going to be the star of the show. This one's dead. This one was just born, so stay tuned, and I'll tell you all about it. All right, guys, so diving straight in, here next to me on the right, I have Ferni's old 318 Ti. It was a Boston Green 318 Ti, 1998, that he's had since about 2017. Pretty much ever since I've known Fernie, he's had this green 318. It's never been the prettiest, it's never been the cleanest, but it's always been his, and it's kind of what we knew him for. You know, he got this thing for like 300 bucks with a blown up 4-cylinder or something like that. And then he went M50 for a while, and then he went M52, which he actually pulled out of a junkyard 328, which ironically was an Arctic Silver 1998 sedan. So he pulled that M52 out, he refreshed it, and that was about 2018, 2019. So not long into owning it, he ditched the M50, went for a 2.8 liter M52 and a ZF. He had drifting in mind, and let me tell you, Fernie did a ton of drifting in this car, both on the streets of Chicago, so many trips to US Air, GLD, and other local tracks. So over those years, Fernie has put this car to the absolute test. He's whooped it up, down, left, and right, and it's treated him very well. It was never really a clean car, so he abused it as he wanted to, as he needed to, and never really cared about the body. We took it on road trips. You guys have seen us take it to Florida. And the elephant in the room, if you guys can't tell, he crashed it. So we have a video here on our channel, which you guys can check out, of us attending the Vintage 2025 back in May of this year, which was down in North Carolina. So us being in Illinois, we traveled down to North Carolina as a group. We had a blast. We went on some curvy roads, and unfortunately, Fernie zigged when he should have zagged, and he almost drove this thing off a mountain. You guys can check out that video. I'll put a link down in the comments so you can check that video out, and you can actually see not a video of him driving off the mountain, but attempting to. And you can see that the guardrail really did save our friend's life, so we're very thankful for that. Unfortunately, the car died. It really just was unfixable. We gathered all the parts. Go check out that video to see the nitty-gritty details of how he crashed and exactly what happened. But we ended up getting the car transported home, and lucky for Fernie, he had already understood that that chassis was expiring due to Midwest rust and just the abuse that it had taken for so many years. So Alex picked this thing up last year in Florida after the floods that they had down there from a hurricane, and this is a 1998 Arctic Silver 318 sedan. It was flooded supposedly about up to here, so that meant that there was standing water in everything. That means that the car, although rust-free and clean and straight, needed a ton of work. And Fernie, he wasn't afraid of that, so he picked this thing up with the intentions of swapping everything from this car into this chassis here, and that was before his accident. So that was before he had to ditch this shell. So he already had it in mind to put everything into this shell. So when he crashed his car, although it was sad, it wasn't the end of the world, and he had a plan. So over the next few months, we were really busy here at the shop, so we really didn't have a chance to dive into this, but slowly, Fernie was chipping away at this thing. Step one was to gut everything out. Step two was to literally replace every wire inside the car. He replaced the body harness. He got every single wire and module and such from a 98 M3 sedan that we had here. So inside this 318 is a complete 1998 M3 body harness. That means that every single wire, the fuse box, the door wiring, the roof wiring, the dash wiring, everything's been replaced, and that's incredible. I know I have never done a car like that, so it's really awesome to see Fernie do that. What's really neat about it is he did it all in about 2 weeks. So I'll kind of explain a little bit more about what he did, and I'll show you the finished product here. So as I mentioned, Fernie literally replaced every single wire in this car, the full interior, along with obviously the drivetrain. When this thing came in, it had a 4-cylinder and a 5-speed, which due to the water damage was pretty much trash. We yanked that out, threw it away, and in the meantime, Fernie really went to town cleaning this chassis up. Him and his good friend Tony, they completely shaved and repainted the engine bay. It looks fantastic. After that, Fernie pulled the M52 out of his TI, refreshed it just real quick. It didn't need much. Wasn't leaking anything, didn't have any actual mechanical issues. So before putting it in this car, it just got a simple refresh. And then when this chassis was ready to accept it, Fernie got the 2.8 liter and the ZF tossed right into this 318. And within about 2 weeks, he did the engine bay, the engine install, finished all of the chassis wiring, got the interior back together, and then just went over the whole car. I know he did a wheel bearing, he did some suspension components, and then he took this thing down to GAT. If you guys aren't familiar, the Gatlinburg car show, it was Slammed Enough, I believe. I'm not too sure they'll be having those car shows anymore, but that was Fernie's goal, and him and Adrian, they made it. They drove the car down, they drove it back with absolutely zero issues. So that's really a testament to how well we can throw these cars together, even in a short period of time, with the right materials and obviously the right determination. So that's a brief summary. The rest of this video, I'm going to be going over the 318 Ti that Fernie had for years. I really want to add some old driving clips of him driving this car at US Air. We've done lots of tandems in this car. Fernie has grown both as a person and a driver while owning this car. So as you see it here, it's a little sad. Clearly we're parting it out now. We've taken everything we need for this car, and now, as all of our other part outs do, it's just going to continue to serve the community and to other people. I can tell you that the rear subframe, the door, the rear seats, and a few other parts are on another friend of ours' car, and they're living on. So that's the thing, is when these cars die, they never really die. The parts live on other E36s, and it's really cool to see. So although this one is going to be scrapped soon, it'll be gone, but the purpose of this video is to make sure that it's not forgotten, and as well, we want to just reflect on, you know, the new project. So stay tuned as we go over this car, and I'm going to do a little bit of a review on Fernie's 318 sedan now, just because it's a well-rounded operating vehicle at this point. So let's see what you get when you put your mind to it and spend 2 weeks of just day and night cranking away on this thing. A bee on my face. Jeez. So here we have 318 Jody's original 318 Ti. For those in the area, you've probably seen this car around. It's been around for years, since what, D-Day 80, 82, 101, 86, and I know there's stickers missing from there. Obviously, you don't get a sticker every time you go to GLD, but this car's probably been to GLD 10 to 15 times, if not more. So, like I said, it's a little sad to see it in this condition, but, you know, it's just the way she goes. I really encourage you guys to go check out the video of the vintage so that you can see how this happened, but I will just kind of go over the damage a little bit more. In that video, you'll see that we had plans to attempt to fix this thing and then drive it home, because the frame rail, although it's straight here, and this apron here isn't too bad, and the strut tower is straight. Where the severity of the damage lies is actually down here. It's hard to see. I think you can tell in and under the clutch pedal, but the floor is damaged. The floor is damaged completely down there, and where this lower control arm bolt is completely shifted, and that's kind of what did this thing in. Not so much the front end or this, you know, that's just easily replaceable. But, I mean, down there, you can't really fix that. So that was the nail in the coffin for this chassis here, as well as just the rust. I mean, it was never really a clean car. So just being a Midwest car, along with the abuse that this thing took forever, I mean, it's just expired. I think this dent was here in the quarter panel for a long time. So, as I've stated a few times, this was never a clean car. So, although it is sad to see it go, it's not the end of the world. And I mean, look at this thing. This thing's all one color. It doesn't have self-tapping screws in the side skirts. It's got good fitment. It's got no rust. The interior is all there, and it's all one color. I mean, this thing's a big upgrade for Fernie. So let's dive into this thing. Straight disclaimer, Fernie does not plan to drift this car, which is a little sad. However, I think it's all right. So here's the M52, the 2.8 liter that came out of this car. Not originally, obviously, because this is a 318 Ti. Never came equipped with an M52, let alone with an M50 intake manifold and all the other goodies that this engine has. I mean, even this expansion tank, it's so funny because the Volkswagen expansion tank was in that car for years, and I would bet you money that this is the exact same expansion tank. In the sun, you can really see how nice this bay was painted by Fernie and Tony while the engine was out. It's looking fantastic. Luckily for Fernie, this car was already on BC coilovers when Alex picked it up, so he left those on there for Fernie when he sent it up. I added some glass headlights when we put the front end back together. The M3 bumper was already there, already paint matched. The wheels, these are actually the wheels from my Sierra that Fernie's borrowing while he gets his Style 32s refinished. And let's check out the inside. I believe it had this BC Racing steering wheel when he got it. This is another if you know, you know touch. Fernie 3D printed this shift knob years ago, and it was in his 318 Ti. So it's so cool to see that in here. We've got full door cards, which if you knew the Ti, you knew it never had a full interior. It's got back seats. I mean, you can bring the whole family along in this thing, and that's exactly what Fernie did on his trip down to Gatlinburg. I'll post the family photo here. The clear taillights, those were already here when he got the car. And the paint is not perfect. You can see it was a Florida car, so there is some fading, some clear coat failure. So we have some plans to take this thing down to Florida and get it painted. Stay tuned for that. That'll be awesome to drive this thing down to Florida as we did with that Ti last year. All right, so now that you've gotten an introduction and an explanation of what we're doing here today, I'm going to go out and I'm just going to give a general, non-biased review of Fernie's 318 with the M52 swap. I'm going to kind of act like I don't know the car, even though I do, and just kind of tell you guys what I think of it. Might hurt Fernie's feelings. Who knows? All right, let's take this thing for a spin, see how she feels. I don't think I've driven this car. Actually, I drove it right when he finished it. Popped to the 0.5. Another interesting piece. Let me move his little 3D printed cutout. This cluster is from that car, and ironically, I sold him this cluster when he built that car probably 7 years ago. And I believe he said it had just about 200 on it. So that means he's put about 70,000 miles between that car and this car on this engine and transmission. Pretty cool. How do I work this thing, Fernie?
It's hard to steer.
What do you mean?
The rack probably still has water in it or something. It leaks fluid, but it doesn't work.
That's a crazy statement. It leaks fluid but doesn't have any?
It doesn't. I mean, there's fluid in it. It's leaking, but it doesn't do anything.
Okay, okay.
Grab a phone mount.
Definitely no power steer. All right. I'm over here making it out like this car is perfect. It's not a perfect car, but it's pretty good. It's pretty darn good. Working OBC is pretty cool. Exhaust sounds exactly like the Ti did, and that's because it is the Ti exhaust. I wonder if the sunroof works. Let's go. One thing about Fernie, I know he loves his sunroofs. So for those unfamiliar, when you do a 2.8 or even a 2.5 swap on a 318, it's pretty much a turnkey swap. And what I mean is, like, you basically just plug it all in and it all just works. The chassis is pretty much ready for the 6-cylinder. I've done it on my Sierra, Fernie's done it on this, and clearly his TI, and we've done it on others. So there's nothing crazy to get the 2.8 liter to work in the 318 chassis. So ultimately, this car might as well just be a 328 at this point. That doesn't undermine any of the absolute insane work that Fernie has done here on this thing. However, it does shine light to anyone who's interested. Anyone with a 4-banger that's looking to go to a 6-banger, just go ahead and do it, because it's pretty much a turnkey swap. All right, let's slow down here. Let's do a nice pull. See if we can break Fernie's car. Ready? And full throttle. This thing scoots along pretty well, I gotta say. The drivability is really nice. The no power steering, it is what it is. They're not too heavy of cars, but assisted power steering is always preferred. So now I'm out here in the cornfields. Let's give this thing a nice little walk around, get some cinematic shots, and I think that's gonna be about it for this video. Nothing crazy, just wanted to kind of give some of you guys an explanation to where Fernie went after crashing his car down in North Carolina, what he's been up to, and what he's got to show for it. I mean, he's got a complete car, so that's a win in my book. Worth noting here, this is the TI exhaust, which is funny because it's actually a little shorter than it needs to be, but it fits pretty well, if I do say so myself. That tip could be a little bit longer, but hey, that's what she said. So thanks for tuning in to this quick look at 318 Jody, or Fernando's, or Fernie, whatever you want to call the guy. Thanks for tuning in to check out what he's been up to with his 318s. That's gonna end this video. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure to check us out on social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, eBay. If you're looking for any E36 parts, definitely keep us in mind. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. See if that camera's gonna stay. Probably not. Nope.
Bye.
That's first! Yes, great speed. Great speed. Yes, great speed, great speed. All right, now let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Do you guys see this ad? Check this out. I thought Fernie was kidding until he sent me this. Let's read this together. I can't believe my eyes. This really says, why sit on the couch eating corn chips when you could be restoring this valiant Charger to its former glory? Must have been quite the character that Fernie picked this thing up from, but as you can see here, used the sketchy tow dolly to get it home, let it rot in his backyard, even parked it next to his Ford Escort that he had at the time, and then got to work pulling the four-cylinder out, got an M50 from the junkyard to refresh. Remember, he went M50 before M52, so there was about a 2-year period of time where he was actually M50, and he built that engine, and it lasted for a while, and then I don't even know what happened to it, but he ended up getting that 2.8-liter M52 that he's lived with up until today. Worth noting here, he was doing all of this in his parents' backyard, and I didn't really know Fernie too well at this time. Here's Jaxie36 on the right. I was friends with Jack, so during this period of time, we were just friends of friends. And then here around this time, this is when he started to get into drifting, and that's when our world started to collide. I started to sell him parts, we started to hang out, and the rest is history. Is this window work?
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad.
Shout but shout it, shout but shout it, shout, 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 shout but shout it.
Got M3, M535, M52 Ti, E36 328, and last but not least, E36 M3. So, you boys ready?
Alright guys, so here we are. Fernie went a little bit off course. Hit the guardrail. It's not horrible, but definitely gonna need to get towed out of here. And we gotta figure out how to get it back to Chicago.
I need a T40.
I'm working on it, literally right now.
We have a tow truck on the way already. Matt's getting some tools to help him take some stuff apart. The guardrail saved his life.
That shit went on.
It's a far drop.
I hit the litter.
It's literally straight down. It doesn't look like it on camera, but that is straight down.
That's life. That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life. That's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I've been a puppet, a pauper,